Let's talk about dangerous tackles. I've been watching footy for a long time. In the last 5 years or so, I've seen a definition of dangerous tackle change significantly, going from arms pinned and slung to subjectively any tackle that slams a player to the ground with force where the head may or may not make contact to the ground. The consistency of how tackles are adjudicated and dealt with by the match review officer leaves a lot to be desired. An incident a few years ago, Burgoyne's sling tackle on Dangerfield was a free kick on the field, and Burgoyne was only fined for this tackle. There was a lot of discussion about it at the time, and a lot of people thought that Burgoyne should have got a week. Let's play spot the difference. This was back in 2021, nearly two identical tackles. Hawkins gets no punishment, and Cordy is fined $2,000. Fast forwarding to today, here's some from the weekend I was most confused about. Butters, arms pinned and spun in the tackle. Jack Graham falls into his back and his head hits the ground. I can't for the life of me understand why this wasn't a free kick. For consistency, I've seen that page so often in the last few years. You can't tackle a player, pin the arms, and have their head smack the ground. What's worse than no free kick being given was that the MRO didn't even mention it in their findings. Was it even looked at? Just after this play, the Tigers went down and scored a goal. In a close match, these decisions are important. Also, from the same game, the Nick Vlostone tackle on Todd Marshall was considered a dangerous tackle by the MRO, with Vlostone fined, yet the adjudicating field umpire didn't call a free kick with a perfect view of the tackle. See the disconnect? A few other clips from 2022. Umpires are calling these dangerous tackles. The players and media are even confused on the definition. Check this clip where Petrarca and Rewalt are explaining that they think the Taron Thomas tackle was completely fine.
We would think that's a fair tackle, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I thought it was a clean tackle, to be honest, but then it was a free kick, so...
You also have coaches like David Noble asking the question to the AFL after these incidents. It seems like there's a game of Chinese whispers between AFL HQ to the umpires, the clubs, the coaches, the players, and then finally the fans. Here's Newcombe making a strong tackle on Caleb Sarong. Umpire calls this a dangerous tackle. Here's a similar action where Cripps lays a big tackle and crunches the player into the turf. This was not given a free kick. I'm not saying either of these should have been called a dangerous tackle, but both tackles involve taking a player to the ground heavily where their head could potentially make contact with the ground. I just think it's better for the game to have the players know how they can legally tackle a player. There is a clear disconnect between umpires, players, fans, the AFL big dogs, the match review officer, commentators and coaches. Does anyone else think the AFL need to sort out these inconsistencies?